Hi, I'm Mrs. S from Steps to Success Maths. This video is about factorising quadratics, and we're going to start with the easiest exam questions and work our way through to the hardest ones. Pause the video, have a go, and we'll go through it together step by step. Factorise x squared plus 6x plus 8. The first thing to remember when you factorise a quadratic equation, so that's one with an x squared or a y squared in it, is you need two sets of brackets. Then you should look at the signs. They're both positive, so everything we do in these brackets is going to be positive. This is the easiest kind because it's all positive. Now we're going to look at the last number, this plus 8, and we're going to think of pairs of numbers that multiply to make 8. So we've got 1 and 8 and 2 and 4. And when we look at them in the centre, this number 6x, we want our pair to add up, because everything's positive, to 6. So that's going to be this one, 2 and 4. So we're going to have x plus 2 and x plus 4 in our brackets. You can write them either way round. It means the same thing. Always remember to do a table as a quick check. X plus 2, x plus 4. X squared, and then 2x, and then 4x, and then plus 8. So you can see we're going to get what we need. Factorise x squared plus 9x plus 18. So you need your double brackets. Now look at the signs. Everything is positive. Now look at the last number. What pairs multiply to make 18? We've got 1 and 18, 2 and 9, and 3 and 6. Which ones add to make 9? That's 3 and 6. So you've got x plus 3, x plus 6. Do your quick check. Draw your grid. X plus 3, x plus 6. X times x is x squared. X times 3 is 3x. 6 times x is 6x, and 6 times 3 is 18. Now remember, you've got to combine the middle term to check. So 6x plus 3x is 9. So we've got what we need. Factorise x squared minus 2x minus 15. So remember, double brackets. Now look at the signs. This time they're both negative. And the only way we're going to get a negative number is by multiplying one negative and one positive together. If we times two negatives together, we'd have a positive. So we're going to do our pairs of numbers that make negative 15. So we could have negative 1 and 15, or we could have 1 and negative 15, or we could have negative 3 and 5, or 3 and negative 5. And now we want to look at this middle term, where we need the difference between these two numbers, and this time it's the difference, because it's a subtraction, to be negative 2. So it's got something to do with 5 and 3, because the difference is 2, and we want it to be negative. So we want the bigger of the numbers to be negative. So it's going to be negative 5. So we've got x minus 5 and x plus 3. Now we're going to draw the little grid and check that we've done everything correctly. X minus 5, x plus 3. X times x is x squared. X times minus 5 is minus 5x. X times 3 is 3x. And 3 times minus 5 is minus 15. Now check this middle section. We've got minus 5, add 3, so that's going to be minus 2. And we can see we've got it correct. Factorise x squared plus 8x minus 48. Okay, so double brackets. Now look at this last number. It's negative 48. Now remember, to get the negative at the end, we need one positive bracket and one negative bracket. You can put that in now if you want to. Now we need pairs of numbers that make 48. negative 48. So there's quite a few pairs of numbers, and you might not need to do them all. You might spot it quickly. But if you don't, here they are. 1 and negative 48, negative 1 and 48. 2 and negative 24, negative 2 and positive 24. 3 and negative 16, negative 3 and positive 16. 4 and negative 12, and negative 4 and 12. Now, if you think about the grid, you'll have x squared here and negative 48 here, which means you must have an x and an x and one of these pairs of numbers to make the negative 48. And you want them to make plus 8x in the middle. So you can quickly see it's not going to be some of these, and you can cross them out. And then you need to test the other one. So I think it's going to be between the 12 and 4. So I want it to be more positive. So the bigger number should be positive. So 12 and negative 4 is what I'm going to put in my table. And I'm going to check it and see if it works. So x times x I've already got is x squared. X times 12 is 12x. Negative 4 times x is negative 4x. And negative 4 times 12 I've already got is negative 48. Check this middle section. 12x take away 4x is 8x. So I can see that my brackets are x plus 12, x minus 4. Factorise. X squared minus 10x plus 24. So, double brackets, look at the last term, it's positive, but the middle term is negative. So I need to use two negatives in my brackets because a negative times a negative will make a positive at the end, but somewhere I'm going to be able to find the negative 10x that I need. So I'm going for two negatives that times together to make 24. So I could have negative 1 and negative 24, negative 2 and negative 12, negative 3 and negative 8, or negative 4 and negative 6. And now, when I start to fill in my grid, remember I've got x squared here and 24 here, so x here and x here, and I need these two that go here to make a negative 10 when I add them together, when I put them together. So I'm going to go with the 6 and the 4, negative 6 and negative 4, and I'm going to check that it works. X times negative 6 is negative 6x. X times negative 4 is negative 4x. And negative 4 times negative 6 is positive 24. And when I combine these middle terms, the ones with x, I can see I've got negative 10x. So my brackets, x take away 6, x take away 4. Factorise. X squared take away 18x plus 80. So double brackets, look at the last term, it's positive. Look at the middle term, it's negative. So I'm going to need two negative numbers that make 80. So I could have 1 and 80, both negative, negative 2 and negative 40, negative 4 and negative 20, negative 5 and negative 16, negative 8 and negative 10. And when I combine the two together, I want it to make negative 18x. So I think it's going to be negative 8 and negative 10. And I'm going to check it using the grid. X take away 10, x take away 8. So the x times the x will make the x squared. And I'm going to do the last box now. Negative 10 times negative 8 will give me positive 80. And I just need to check the terms in x. So x times negative 10 is negative 10x, and negative 8 times 10 is negative 8x. And when I combine them together, I get negative 18x. So I know my brackets are x minus 10, x minus 8. Factorise. X squared minus 36. So this one looks a bit different because there's a middle term that's missing. It isn't there. We don't have any just x. but it's still a quadratic. It's still got the x squared, so it's still a double bracket. And the last term is negative, so I know I've got one positive and one negative. So I want numbers that make 36, negative 36, but I don't want a term in the middle. So when I combine them together, I want them to disappear. So I want them to be the same number in each bracket, just one positive and one negative. So I can just think what the square root of 36 is. Well, it's 6. So I want x plus 6 and x subtract 6. Draw a quick grid and check it out. X plus 6, x subtract 6. X times x is x squared. X times negative 6 is negative 6x. 6 times x is 6x. And 6 times negative 6 is negative 36. So you can see that 6x minus 6x is just 0. So we know we want x plus 6, x minus 6 in the brackets. Factorise x squared plus 8x plus 16. So let's have a look at this one. Everything's positive, so two positive numbers that multiply to make 16 and add to make 8. 1 and 16, 2 and 8, or 4 and 4. So I can see it's 4 and 4. X plus 4, x plus 4. And to factorise this fully, we need to write it as x plus 4 squared, because it's a repeated bracket. Factorise 81, take away y squared. It's still a quadratic, it just looks funny because it's written the other way round. So, two brackets, and the number on the end is actually the number at the beginning, and it's positive, but we've got a negative in the y. So we're going to need one positive bracket and one negative bracket. We're going to need the middle terms with ones with y in to cancel out. And we need to make 81. So it's going to be 9, the square root of 81. So we've got 9 take away y and 9 plus y. If you do the grid, you can see this. 9 take away y, 9 plus y. 9 times 9 is 81. 9 times negative y is negative 9y. Y times 9 is 9y. And y times negative y is negative y squared. So you can see the middle terms cancel out and you're left with 81 take away y squared. This topic is really tricky. So to help you practice, I've linked a free worksheet with worked solutions in the comments. And then there's also my algebra playlist. Make sure you subscribe so you don't miss out on any more helpful videos.